Hey y'all, the back border is finally mulched. But before I give you an update on that project, let me show you a few things that are blooming right now in my garden. Now, this doesn't exactly count as what's blooming in my garden right now. This is what's blooming that I just brought in to plant. So himself has been keeping an eye on these magnolias that were at our local Tractor Supply. They brought them in early on, and they've just been sitting there, and they hadn't sold, but they do have seem to have someone who's taking care of their plants, because they're still in great shape even though they've been sitting there for that long. But anyhow, they hadn't sold, and it's getting toward the end of season, and they're starting to they were clearancing out some annuals and whatnot. So he talked to the nursery manager about getting a discount. So I think he got these 40% off of both of them. I was like, do we need to? And he's like, well, we have 10 acres. I'm like, okay, yeah. And I think it was also, that was part of his deal he made, was that we took both of them, not just one. So this variety is called Little Jim Magnolia. Now, when you're planting something that is a giant tree, shrub, whatever, often if you get something that says little, that just means littler than the original. It doesn't mean it's going to be teeny tiny. So these are still going to get good size. They're just a smaller variety than the bigger ones we've already planted. So anyhow, don't know where these are going. They're sitting out on the patio right now, waiting to be determined. They just had a lovely rain, which was a nice surprise. I didn't think we were getting any rain today, but yeah, we had some storms roll through. So this one is particularly, I love that flower. We've got more blooms. So yeah. And if you're wondering why so many magnolias, it started out as I wanted one because Southern Living always does these winter mantelpiece table settings, whatnot, where they use magnolia leaves. And I've always wanted to do that, and I've never had one. So that was, why I wanted to have one in the garden. And oftentimes when we start looking at one thing, it just kind of goes to, well, let's get a different variety and a different variety. So yeah, we'll be adding these. But, 10 acres, we can add lots of trees. And speaking of trees with white blooms, look at that crepe myrtle. Oh my goodness. I feel like it's a bit early for crepe myrtles to be blooming, but weird year, although I think we say that every year in Oklahoma. So I have that one, and then let me pan. I've been trying to pan slower so as to not give anybody a headache when they're watching my videos. We also have that one. And, usually I go for and the one next to it, the little one that isn't blooming right beside it, that one is hot pink. And hot pink is usually the color and the red ones are the colors that I love in crepe myrtles. But I don't know, these white ones, I just really like them, especially in the heat of summer. When you look out and you see the green and the white, it just feels so cool and refreshing. So yeah, I don't think I would ever want to do like that famous white garden where everything's white in the garden. Maybe a little area in a bed or section, whatnot. But I'm beginning to rethink my stance on white blooms in the garden. They are very refreshing. We got a nice little rain. I'll have to check the mesonet to see how much, because my little rain gauge has been knocked over. But everything looks so fresh and clean right after the rain. And yeah, we have some patches that of dirt where grass is washed away. Water kind of comes down through here somewhat. But yes, so pretty. And it's been incredibly humid the last few days, so it's just a nice break to come out and not be just burning up and sticky and oh. So let's go see what else is blooming in the garden. This is a hydrangea that I brought from my old garden. It grew very well up there, and I got a small start of it, and it's just really taken off in this space. This is right off my book porch, and if I was going to do a white garden, it would probably be right here. Because as I talked about in the past, I got these red begonias because I was trying to decide what I wanted in the up front, and I got 2 varieties of red begonias, and I thought, well, I'll plant one here and one there, but I really wish I'd gotten white. And you know, if I saw a bunch of white begonias that looked pretty good because we're getting toward the time where garden centers are clearancing things out, I wouldn't be opposed to moving all these red ones. I mean, I got a spot I can put them in. They could go out in the back border. I could put white ones in here. And see, this is another hydrangea that's going to be coming on soon. It's gotten so big and pretty. We've got a bit of greenery left over from bulbs. I'm going to start, well, I've already started, just pulling all of that greenery up as I come to it, because it's done for the year and it's had enough time to gain some strength for next year. So yeah, hydrangeas, so pretty. Some people rearrange furniture. I do that occasionally too. But mostly I rearrange plants. We'll just let him finish his business there before we walk by. Oh, got more. I know I put that around here somewhere. So shout out to himself for getting everything mowed. We were behind because, when we say we, I mean him. I'm behind on my stuff, but he does most of the mowing. I do a bit here and there with the push mower in a couple of spots, but for the most part, himself does all the mowing. And it's just been too rainy and too mucky. And then last Sunday, it had finally dried up enough. So he spent most of the day on the mower, took a break in the heat of the day, and then went back at it. So some spots he had to mow twice because it was just so thick because of all the rain. So yeah, he did all of this side, the other side over the pecan grove, front yard, everything. It looks so good. And like I say, we had some rain this morning. There's more in the forecast, so you just got to mow when you can. But I'm not complaining about the rain, because I love when it's so green and pretty, because that's not always the case in July, August, and sometimes even into September. So yeah, beautiful morning out. Birds are singing. Mr. Nutney is doing his thing. And blueberry season continues. I picked a whole bucket full last night, and there's more to pick today. So I'll probably wait until this evening. But we're getting to the point where we have to pick pretty much every day, or just be like doing a few rows in the morning and a few in the evening, or vice versa. But yeah, look at all those blueberries. Oh my goodness. I had some for breakfast with yogurt and honey, but we're going to have a few more as we walk about. Yeah, we're going to have a few more as we walk about and see what else is going on. Today's project, we are going to get this done. We have been sidetracked by the rain. It's just been too mucky to get back here and finish my mulching. And also, we haven't gotten this Nutney green, that's what we call this area. We haven't gotten this area mowed because it's just been raining so much. So today's agenda, first things first, we're going to weed this bed back here, and then we're going to get the grass mowed and edged in, and we're going to mulch back here. So there we go. Let's get it done, and I will share the after. I've been working on this back bed, and I had some empty spots, so I went looking to see, just what I could find. We're getting toward the end of the spring planting rush season. We're starting to have some 90-degree days, so things are unless it's a nursery that really stays on top of things, a lot of things are starting to look really bad, which means you can get some deals. But if you're needing a few things at least in my zone, to fill in, now's the time, and go and get them, because before long, things are going to be looking really tatty. So here's what I got. These are Double Impatience Glimmer Apple Blossom. Look at that flower. Gorgeous. They're getting a little leggy. I'm going to get them in the ground, and I'll probably trim them back here in a few weeks, and so they'll get a second blush of flowers. And then the hot pink is the standard rose begonia. And these all came from Tractor Supply, and they look really nice. This is something I have never grown. Egyptian starflower. It's a pentas, yes. And I hear a lot of people talk about them, that they really like them. So they had this flat of really pretty purple ones. So I thought, well, let's just give those a try. So we're going to tuck those in. And then this is a tropical vine, mandevilla. And I like the yellow. This is going to go on a spot that I had put a clematis, and it was very root bound when I bought it, and then I broke it because yes, I still make mistakes. I broke it getting out of the pot, and I was hoping it would come back, and maybe it will, but it's not giving me any color right now. So I'm going to pop this annual in there as well, and that'll give me something through summer. So all of these I'm just going to fill in various places. So this crepe myrtle with the rain we had this morning, we have just white flowers all over the ground. So there are the little apple blossom Double Impatience that I put in. I just tucked. They were so pretty, and I didn't really need them, but they were pretty. So we just tucked them in to this little corner underneath the crepe myrtle. You can see the remnants of an old fence that is back here, and we've just left it. There's some honeysuckle there, and I keep wanting to add some more climbing things back here. And then back over there, that's the neighbor's pasture. And I don't know what this contraption was, but so we just keep, we keep it here for for things to grow on, and it gives a little what do you call that when you height in the garden. And this hopefully eventually red cascade will grow up, get long enough, and because it's a rambling mini rose, so it will grow up and go on that fence. But it's been blooming on and off. This is amaryllis that I've tucked out here for the summer. Look at that. That's a pretty red mini rose. I got that from Bustani Plant Farm. And then there's like these wooden, whatever you want to call those. It'd be cute if you set something up there, but it would just get knocked off in the rain and whatnot. Yeah, this daffodil foliage has got to go. I've had enough of it. It's June. It's had plenty of time to make for the next year. So we're getting we need to get all that out of here. So yeah, this little section in here is looking very nice. There's a oak leaf hydrangea I transplanted it. So yeah, that's looking good. And here's another one of these little post thingies. I don't know what they use those for, but they're just here. I eventually want things climbing on them. I really want a clematis here. And as I said, I bought one, I popped it out and managed to break it because it was root bound. And so, I thought it might come back and it didn't. And I really haven't seen any varieties that I really wanted. So I think we're going to let that go until maybe the fall or next year we can get a variety we like. So we've got this little summer annual that should vine up quite a little bit. And then what else? Right here. Oh, pull this grass out. Not wearing gloves. That's okay. I'm getting my nails done the day after tomorrow. This is a bit of sedum that got chewed on up front and so broken off. So I stuck it back in here. Hey y'all, so we're here in the back border, right in the center of it. This area is what we call Nutney Green. We have this lawn area here that we're trying to get to fill in. It's coming along. It's a work in progress. But yes, it is named for my favorite little gray squirrel, Mr. Henry Nutney, who has graciously allowed us to film in his garden today. So in the back border, we have this area in the center, and then we have sections on either side of it. So Nutney Park North and Nutney Park South, just for my diagram, so I know which is which and what is planted where. And so this is area I can see a lot of it from my back patio and my back kitchen window. The green area here, I can really see out my kitchen window. And then this little area we had when we moved in was full of daffodils, but the hedge had some dying bits, and so you couldn't really see it. So we cut out the dead hedge, and it really opened the space up. So like I say, when I'm looking out my kitchen window, I see right in here. Now, what do we have in here? First of all, we have little mini zinnias. Oh, and that is some daffodils that I pulled last night. So these are little mini zinnias. I planted these from seed last year, all in through here. Now, the thing with little mini zinnias is generally you can't find individual colors. They come in a mixed mixed package. And so what I did was I scattered the seed, and then as they came up, I wanted more pinks and purples and softer colors. So if a bright, fiery orange one popped up, I pulled that out. I would use it, as a cut flower or transplant it elsewhere. But so they've come back from seed this year. So I'm really happy to see that. And I hope there was some like dark kind of burgundy ones that were in here last year. So I hope those come back too. The only thing I don't like about mini zinnias is there are no green ones. I love green zinnias, and so far I have not found a little mini green one. So anyhow, all of those have come back from seed. So those look really great and give a lot of summer color throughout the heat. Now in the back, I have hydrangeas. These are Sweet Starlight, I do believe, from Southern Living. They take a little more sun than some hydrangeas. So I had 3, and like I say, I focused them right where I could see them out my back window, kitchen window. And then I decided I needed a couple of more. And honestly, I could probably do, like 4 more in there and really fill it in. Work in progress. So we also have in here, this is really pretty. This is a yellow Shasta daisy. I will have to put the name on the screen because I do not remember. There's also some peonies in here that were down at the other end of the garden and not getting enough sun, so I've moved them back here. There is perennial salvia, the rose colored, and a few other annuals that I've added in here. And a couple of them are a couple of petunias that I popped in here, that need a little haircut. And then some mums that were pass-alongs. I don't remember what variety they were. I think I picked them up at a plant sale. And this end down here could gets a little more shade, so it could use a bit more. And then I added the pentas. So it's been quite the adventure. I thought that I could just get this all done in one day. Gardeners were so optimistic. Oh yeah, I can get that done in a day. But I got it weeded that day. And once I got it weeded, I thought, I need a few more plants in here. I need a little more color. So we need to go to town anyway. So himself and I went to Tractor Supply, and I found the pentas, which I've never grown, but they are really pretty, and I'm excited to try them. So we were running out of daylight, and we had a load of mulch in the back of the golf cart. So I just dumped it in. And I'll come back and spread it later. And then that night, I just happened to catch the weather forecast on YouTube. Our local CBS affiliate and DirecTV are currently in the midst of a thing. Haven't checked in the last couple of days, but so we haven't been able to watch the weather on our local station. So I watch it on YouTube now, which is fine. I love YouTube. It's where I get most of my TV watching done. So, so anyhow, caught the weather forecast, and they were like, oh, there's a line of storms that's going to come through in the morning, and it's definitely going to be in the city, and I'm not sure how far if it will stick together as it heads out and whatnot, but there's a chance. So, I set my alarm really early. And I was out at 5:30 in the morning, shoveling mulch. It was still kind of dark, into the back of my golf cart, and then got that under cover. And sure enough, it just started pouring buckets. So we were glad to have managed to get this. Probably can see over here some, this little area here along the fence row That's kind of a little alleyway behind all of the back border. And it's also where the water comes in from the neighbor's pasture and runs down through there and on down that way. So there's always a bunch of leaves and muck back there when we've had a heavy rain. Himself gets in there with the smaller tractor lawnmower and does part of it. And then where it narrows down up at the other end, we do with a push mower. So yeah, this area is looking pretty good. I'm would happily add more things to it. I will probably continue to, well, probably. I will definitely continue to shop the end of spring sales and pick up any perennials that might look good back here. Any annuals that aren't looking really, really tired. And whatnot. So we could add some more in here. Hey guys. Squirrels are running amok today. So yeah, this is looking good. We're happy with this. And I think this area needs another little thing. Oh, and I just happen to have it. Let me show you. Now, before I share what I've added here in Nuttney Green, I wanted to give a special announcement. So I have been wanting for quite a while to do a full garden tour. So we're hoping to do that sometime, film it in the middle of June. I'm probably going to enlist niece Jen to help me with that. So I want to get it filmed, and then I want to put it up on June 26th. So that's the plan. So if you're interested in seeing the full garden, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the reminder button, do all the shenanigans. So yeah, that's the plan. Full garden tour, and it may actually be in costume. So hopefully. So now let me show you what else I've done here in Nuttney Green. And the perfect addition for this space, chaise lounges. I just picked these up this weekend. And the little table is from the Glass House. I could probably use one just a little bit smaller, but if I see one when I'm out and about, I might pick it up. But for right now, this is what I have. So this is what we're going with. So a perfect spot to sit and read Pride and Prejudice. There are 61 chapters in Pride and Prejudice. They're all very short chapters, but 61 chapters. If you start on June 1st and do a chapter a day, you can read all the way through July 31st. So that is what I am doing. We also have space for a guest or himself. We have our In the Wild citronella and lemongrass candle in case mosquitoes love himself. They don't bother me so much, but they love him. So we have a little candle. We went and stole this little pot from down by the pond. We need to get something dedicated for here. I have some green pots. So I think like something hot pinky would be pretty. This area does get a little bit of late afternoon sun, so it needs to be fairly drought tolerant and can take a little bit of heat as well. So you know what that means. I'm gonna have to go plant shopping. Oh, darn. I hate that. Oh, it's awful. It's awful. Honestly, this is a great time to check out your local nurseries because a lot of them are starting to put things that they brought in the spring on sale, so you can get some good deals. Perennials are always a good choice when they're on sale because even if they've already bloomed for this year, you can go ahead and plant them and they will come back next year. So yeah, go and excuse me? The squirrels. Oh my goodness. The squirrels. I love it. Okay. See y'all later. So anyhow, this is a great time to visit your local nurseries. Often oh, they're over there now. Okay. Off you go. often this time of year is when they start also getting in like things that bloom later and are a lot more heat tolerant, that sort of thing. They've shaken off some crepe myrtle flowers on me. So yeah, stop by your local nursery and see what they've got. You might find a deal. You might find something that's a little later, comes in a little later in the season. We are gonna sit here with our cup of tea and read our chapter. And if you're wondering, perhaps, well, Annie, isn't it too hot for tea? The appropriate response to that from another favorite author of mine, Gail Carriger, is, you have just in fact described hell. It's never too hot for tea. So that's it for this week. Flower Friday pics will be up on Instagram, Pemberley, Oklahoma Instagram, and here on the YouTube community tab. And we will see you next week.